Hi, this is Bob with a story for you. Today's story, One Special Alabama Lady. One of my favorite persons growing up in rural Alabama was my Aunt Elizabeth. We called her Aunt Lib. In our little town of Moundville, Aunt Lib worked at the Five Points Mercantile Company. It was a small general store that mainly sold groceries. They had the best cheese. I remember once asking Aunt Lib if I could have a piece. She cut a sliver for me. It was delicious. And as I ate it, she asked, "Now what do you say?" I replied, "It's too little." She laughed and never let me forget it. She was so cool. One winter's day, we actually got almost a foot of snow. This was rare for our town. Frolicking in the snow was practically mandatory. My dad stopped in the store to pick up a few items. My sister Kathy and I stayed outside the store playing in the snow. I made a really big snowball and threw it at her. She quickly opened the store door. The snowball flew inside, hitting my Aunt Lib. She just laughed it off. However, her patience was really tested with our next escapade. It was a nice warm spring day, and we were visiting my grandmother. Aunt Lib was there too. The back porch had just been painted and was still wet. Kathy and I had been warned not to set foot on the porch, so we stayed in the backyard, and we started play fighting. I hollered really loud. Aunt Lib stuck her head out the door and yelled, "Stop that fighting right now!" We waited about 10 seconds and then started back. Aunt Lib stormed onto the porch and then stopped. "Is this paint wet?" she inquired. We laughed. "Yes, ma'am." And then she burst out laughing too, knowing we had pranked her. We did wind up getting the paint off her shoes, though. Fair is fair. Aunt Lib also drove the school bus we rode each day. One day, Kathy and I were a little late getting to the bus on time. We ran to it as fast as we could, and Aunt Lib said, "Slow down, you're going to have a heart attack." Another time, we were late again, but remembering what Aunt Lib told us, we just walked to the bus. Well, our mom, Miss Mildred, was looking out the window and thought we were purposefully walking slowly to annoy Aunt Lib. When we got home after school, Miss Mildred said, "You two just took your sweet time getting to the bus. If I'd been Lib, I would have just left you." I thought to myself, you wouldn't have just left us. You would have backed the bus up half a mile, then zoomed forward at the speed of light. Our mom was not amused. In the late 60s, I was an avid fan of the TV soap opera horror show Dark Shadows. It came on Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Each episode ended on a cliffhanger, so we were anxious to see how things would turn out. I'd beg Aunt Lib to take the route that would get me home in time. She usually did, but not every time. Fair was fair. I forgave her for causing me to miss how the Dark Shadows vampire Barnabas Collins escaped from being staked through the heart. I had to ask a friend at school to tell me what happened the next day. But I couldn't stay mad at Aunt Lib. She was just the best. I was so lucky to have her in my life. Aunt Lib, I still miss you to this day. And that's our story. Have a good day.